So Warzone 2 is still in its infancy. We still have a long road ahead of us here over the coming months and years for the project, but things are already shaping up in terms of the long haul content plans, where we already know Almas won't be the only map that we see for long. Today I want to run down a theory we've yet to touch on in regards to the plans upcoming beyond what we see with the immediate horizon, including another map comparable in size to Almas, when we can see that, and everything in between. So as we go along, drop your thoughts below on what you'd like to see, or if you'd like to see it at all. So this rumor, it's based out of an Easter egg that we can see in the campaign that's been there hidden in plain view since the early access period of the campaign, back starting on the 20th of October. In the mission El Sin Nombre, you're trying to find the leader of the Las Almas cartel, infiltrating their compound, and in an area of choice, taking out enemies or not along the way, completing the mission. In that mission, if you enter Diego's room, you can see a map on the coffee table where it's an entire layout of Las Almas, the world of, if you will. So everywhere in the campaign that was Las Almas is theoretically included in that map. Now this map is strikingly large and similar in build to something we'd see, say, to accommodate large world modes like battle royales. And as we'll see in a second when we take a deeper look, there are parts of multiplayer already visible in there and a part of that map. Now, a huge thanks to my friend Big Mike. He's the guy that does the thumbnail renders and the 3D art here that we see on the channel. He was actually able to pull the raw image of this that you'd see on the coffee table from that campaign mission, as he would be able to pull, like, say, a uniform for a thumbnail render. And to my knowledge, I don't think that I've seen anybody else showcase this actual map in raw format, and it gives us a clearer look as to what we can expect to see with this overall map. Go check Mike out, link in the description below. He does awesome 3D work and of course is a big help here, especially for this one. Now this map shows a sprawling layout of a world, including a vast network of roadways, highways, rivers to navigate via water vehicles, as seen in Warzone for the first time with Mazrah. Yes, Blackout did have aquatic vehicles, but only discussing the Warzone side of things here. It has major points of interest, many small towns, areas, and more. It looks like something that could be made into a full-fledged map, right? Now, what's interesting and coming back to it is that we already have maps from this included in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer experience, pulling from the world of Las Almas. And actually, that's something that we've seen proposed and put directly in front of us since the launch of the game. Per the Everything You Need to Know blog post that was launched on October 18th, it stated, these maps are grouped into one of three regional categories: Mazrah, Las Almas, and the rest of the world. Something which I distinctly remember memeing when that came out, because it's just like, okay, you give us these specific parameters for where we're going to be taking the fight, and then rest of the world, like really nailing that one down there. But in all actuality, to me, that's the first and biggest clue of the validity of this theory that Las Almas will be the next major Warzone map upcoming. And this lives on in the makeup of that map as well. For clarity, let's start with Mazrah. Mazrah continued on the trend that we ended up seeing with Modern Warfare 2019, taking areas in multiplayer and putting them all together in one larger world. Mazrah is home to plenty of locations that we can see in Warzone 2 and in MP. On the larger scale, you'll of course notice ground war maps in Mazrah, Sarif Bay in the southern portion of the map, Said City a little north of that, and then Tarak up in the northern portion of Mazrah, northwest of the sort of downtown city area. But throughout the map, you also will find Al Bagra Fortress, Embassy, and Zarqwa Hydroelectric, listed sometimes in a slightly different name, but their points of interest are there throughout the map. All of those can be found in Mazrah from the regular MP experience, all seen in that map. So can the same be said for Las Almas in the map that we see there? You betcha. In the northernmost portion of that image, it's Santa Senya, the entire ground war map and that border crossing from 6v6 also being derived from that. So that's something that is at that northern portion. It fits perfectly if you end up putting that TAC map over top of it. And then in the most southeastern portion of the map, we have Guijaro, with Mercado in the center of that map as well. Though admittedly, the TAC map is slightly deviated on the outskirts here, that it doesn't match up as perfectly, but the points of interest buildings and such like that still do match that layout. So on a large scale, we have two things that already fit in that larger world of Las Almas in the multiplayer experience. So on the smaller scale, can we see that already with the sort of 6v6 maps? Well, unfortunately, we don't have any area to pinpoint those down. It's just not clear enough right now. And honestly, some places like Embassy, if you didn't go past them, you might not even know where they are by just simply looking at the TAC map on Mazrah. So it's kind of the same situation with the 6v6 maps, but LSEO and Shoot House, those would fall into the category of somewhere in this map if it does come to fruition. But it kind of all checks out here that Las Almas very well could be the next Warzone map here beyond that. A world continuing on that trend of multiplayer and shared experiences, but also being a larger thing already crafted up and hidden in plain view. So with all that in mind, the bigger picture is starting to come together. But before we jump into a little more that's rumored with the map itself and when we can expect to see Las Almas in Warzone 2, if you enjoyed the video, you find the information at hand at all interesting, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and anything COD related. Love to have you in the community, but that said, let's continue on. So to go even a step further, we've seen rumored point of interest names seemingly associated with another map, again, presumably Las Almas. As with all leaks and rumors, take it with a grain of salt, but according to news account MW2 Intel, the following are reported to be points of interest for Warzone 2's Las Almas map: Mill, Amazon, Puerto, Mall, Baseball, Storage, Narcos, Favela, Nogales, Boardwalk, Historic, Prison, Compound, Power Plant, and Airstrip. So if that's the case, we might even just see this now a larger sort of integration to what we can expect to see. We have the map potentially listed right there in front of us, but no points of interest to follow up and sort of layer on top of that just yet. So if that all does happen, if those are the points of interest, well, that'd be pretty interesting because it seems like we'd see Favela being remade, as we saw with plenty of other remake locations within Mazrah so far. But if this all happens, then what's the timetable look on this? That's the next big question, because if it is indeed a new map coming to Warzone 2, well, when can we play it? Right now, we kind of have a tentative timetable, if you ask me, that we can not pinpoint, but sort of theorize about. Mazrah was, of course, at launch November 16th, but then we have the rumor of a Resurgence-based map coming with Season 2. Currently rumored to be a smaller, respawning style map and gameplay. It's rumored to be a Season 2 launch, and personally, I kind of would guess a Season 2 Reloaded launch over the launch of Season 2, but I could be incorrect on that assumption. But a Resurgence map, whether in Season 2 Reloaded, or later, I think will absolutely be something we see before another main world of Warzone is introduced. So if that's the case, we see maybe a Resurgence map being introduced in February, March, April, May even, but I wouldn't expect Las Almas until after that, the third Warzone 2 map here introduced, which very well could be a fall of 2023 introduction. With all this in mind, the logical assumption would be that the next mainline map that we see for Warzone 2 is Las Almas. I'd tentatively label that as fall 2023 or early 2024, depending on how they want to handle Warzone's expansion in the next year. I'll be honest, I'm a little skeptical over the whole November Warzone 2 launch thing, but at the same time, I have enjoyed having an overabundance of things to play, grind out, and make content on, but I do worry that the next 12 months or so on the Warzone and DMZ front, it may get dry rather quickly since we've had every major offering in the COD space dropped within a month of each other. October 28th for Modern Warfare 2's launch, and then November 16th for Warzone 2 and DMZ's launch, but that's a different discussion for a different day. Beyond that, it's reported that Treyarch are leading design for their own Warzone 2.0 map to be coming alongside their premium or mainline title in 2024. So for quick reference, again, if you guys may have missed it, next year is rumored to be a major expansion of Modern Warfare 2, developed by Sledgehammer Games, including a new campaign, a rumored full remaster of all the original Modern Warfare 2 maps, and then some, weaponry, all that. So almost an entirely new game, but like Modern Warfare 2 kind of, and then Treyarch's next title, whatever the Black Ops universe presumably brings, will be released in 2024 as opposed to immediately following Infinity Ward's year in the spotlight. But with 2 years until the next mainline or premium title, 2 maps make sense given the frequency of updates for Warzone that we had seen in prior years. We had Verdansk launch with Warzone in March of 2020, then we ended up seeing Verdansk 84 in April of 2021, Caldera in fall of 2021, that was December 2021, and then Mazrah in November of 2022. So it seems like those larger worlds are being introduced on a more so annual basis as opposed to anything else. So with the updates to that degree, it would make sense that Las Almas could be another map coming later on down the line, and with such detail given to an image that we see in the campaign and that map overall, it seems almost too real to not be something we'd see used later on down the line, and there's too many things that already this early on connect, right? Like, when you have 2 years to create content for, that makes a ton of sense to have the plans laid out from the get-go, but to kind of just put it out there in the open, it's a ballsy Easter egg if you ask me. So for that, that's what we're gonna call it. That's the Las Almas map rumor here for Warzone 2 and what we may be seeing in the maybe not so near future, but next year or so. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down below. What do you guys think of this? Do you think it checks out? Do you think that it makes a little too much sense to not be true? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, I found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and anything COD related. For now, thanks so much for watching though. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.